Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be reviewing the third entry in the manga series I've been reading, My Love Mix-Up. So this is what the cover looks like, super pretty, really nice, and I'm glad that I've made it this far in the series. So I cannot stop talking about this series. I love it, and I want to begin by saying that I am not a big romance person in anything. In traditional fiction, like paper printed books, this is paper and printed, so I don't know what I'm talking about. In non-manga, so like traditional fiction, I'm not really a romance person. It just doesn't pull me. Or let me clarify, romance by itself does not pull me in, but romance with something else can be a really good like spice to add, if that makes sense. When romance is by itself, I'm not interested in the story, I'm not connected to the characters, and the tense moments don't really feel tense because I feel like I know how it's gonna play out, and it's just not my cup of tea. No qualms if it's yours. Everyone deserves to read exactly what they love, but just doesn't do it for me. So I got My Love Mix-Up Volume 1 out of the library quite simply because it was on the new shelf and it was a Volume 1, so I knew it was the first one in the series. Sometimes it's hard when you get stuff from the library to find Volume 1. You kind of have to wait for it to come back in because it's usually the one that most people read because they're trying out the new series starting with 1. So I thought, Volume 1, I'll pull it out, fully expecting to not like it because it was a romance manga. So yeah, I didn't decide I wasn't gonna like it, but I was expected to not really rate it very highly and not think very highly of it, and I have been pleasantly proven wrong. This series is mostly focused on the romance, which is something I traditionally don't like, but I am loving in this book. I'm invested in the characters, I love their stories, I think they're super funny, and yeah, I'm there with the characters throughout the entire book. When there's a tense moment, I feel tense. My heart kind of like stops. I think, oh, how's this gonna play out? I'm invested. I want to read this whole thing. I want to know how these people's stories end. I want to know how the relationships end. I feel awkward with the characters. I feel happy with the characters. I feel sad with the characters. So this is a very good series and it is very well done. And I don't want anyone to be dissuaded from reading these books because they, like me, are not really into romance. So if you're listening to this review and thinking, I don't really do romance by itself, it's not really my cup of tea, I would say give this series a try, obviously starting with Volume 1 because it is really good and I think it will probably defy your expectations as well. So in this series we have, so to recap the first 2 volumes, basically Ida and Aoki, which is this guy here, have developed feelings for each other accidentally due to a long chain of misunderstanding. The air is kind of cleared about what happened with this whole situation between the two, and Aoki kind of admitted to Ida like, oh, that was kind of a misunderstanding, but it's not, because they've kind of developed feelings from each other accidentally. So while they're trying to like get past this and trying to like move beyond this incident, this like misunderstanding, their feelings are still there, so it's making things very complicated. The kind of B plot is Hashimoto, who is the original girl that Aoki had a crush on, even though he now has a crush on Ida instead. Hashimoto's trying to work up the courage to talk to her crush, which is Akun, this guy back here, who's also kind of in this circle of friends, about her feelings towards him. So in this series, it's mostly about in this volume, we have a lot of Aoki trying to work up a feeling of courage to talk to Ida and kind of discuss things, and also they kind of want to figure out where the relationship's going. So it's a lot of communication in this series, or this volume. It's a lot of talking to each other about their feelings and about, yeah, where their relationships are going or if there's going to be a relationship. And it is very tense and it is also very funny. The first part of this book is them, or a big chunk of this book is them going on their class trip, which is a ski trip. And the ski trip portion was the funniest section of this book. I was laughing out loud the entire time. And it had nothing to do with the romance. There was romance in it, but just the ski trip in and of itself was so funny that I couldn't help but laugh. And I think the author does a really good job of balancing the romance with the humor, where you never feel like one outweighs the other. You feel like the serious moments are serious and you're there with the romance with the characters, but the funny moments are also really funny, and it just gives the reader a chance to laugh at the situation and the whole thing. And I feel like sometimes maybe an author might not get that balance right. They might rely on the humor too much, the romance doesn't feel too serious, or the stakes don't feel too serious, but also there's so much romance that the humor, it gets kind of swamped, which if you really like the romance, that might not be too bad for you, but I really like the balance of it, and I really like that there's a little bit of humor going through this, because you feel like even though there's a lot of feelings and emotions, these are high schoolers and life is funny and things happen in life. So just got to deal with it as it comes. So this was another really, really great book. I would give it a 4.5 stars. It's very, very good. I'm loving this series, and I really like the cover. I think this was the best cover out of the 3 volumes that I've seen so far. So far, I really like the color scheme, and the cover is really pretty, and so is everything inside. Everything inside is also really beautiful, and I think you should read it and let me know what you think. If you already read this series, please let me know what you think about the series and which volume thus far you think is the favorite and which character you think is the favorite. I would love to know. I feel like I have an opinion on who my favorite is, but I'm not gonna tell you. So I gotta read a little bit more to see what I think. I hope there's more volumes because this did not feel like the conclusion volume to a series, so I'm assuming there are more volumes in this series, and I'm excited to get them and read them. Thank you for watching this video, everyone. Please let me know what you think. Other than that, everyone, thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day.